Pastor Katie. If you see IG, 你会看到我们牧师下午茶. And today we're starting a relationship series. I have a guest with me, Winston.
Hey, Pastor Katie, it's good to be here. I'm 38. I've been single for around 10 years, and I don't think I have the gift of singlehood. So dating's been rough.
Okay, 所以呢，我们这个 series 这个 video is about people who are single but don't have the gift of singlehood. 就是有单身但是没有单身身. So Winston, their assumption number one is that dating can be simultaneously easy and simultaneously hard. 就是可以有简单又有困难，因为 with all the online dating apps and all that stuff.
Yeah, 我经验上就是蛮困难的. It's only superficially easy because you see a lot of women on dating apps, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go anywhere.
Oh, then what do you do? How do you get them out? What's the difficulty?
Yeah, so meeting them is it's hard. It's hard to date kind of nowadays because number one, being an Asian guy, we've seen the desirability of Asian men is quite low in this country. And also being a Christian, we want someone who shares our values, share our faith. And finally, it's tough on the wallet, 就很伤皮价。我每一次都是第一次约会，都是应该男生要先出钱。那每一次都是第一个约会，那就会变成很贵。
Then how about 你住的地方 like we're in Southern California, relatively high Asian rates. How about 我们的 circle like coffee meets bagel 都是 close proximity?
Yeah. Well, I haven't used coffee meets bagel, but I think in-person dating is also tough. The circles we run in, I think if something would have happened, like I would have, something would have happened. So it's only because we've probably exhausted our in-person circles and those networks that we moved to online dating.
Okay. Then you know what? I think I really pray that when we meet people, we can have that heart. It's not just like, oh, God, is he or she the one? But rather, we can prayerfully ask God how can be a blessing to that person. And perhaps God does some magic there. All right, then move on to the assumption number two that I heard from a lot of people is that everyone is awkward nowadays. 大家都好尴尬，很难在一起耶。What do you say then?
People are indeed awkward. It's tough because you're trying to drive a conversation out of thin air. You may or may not know this person. You probably don't know this person. I've had experience where I'm try to talk to someone online and all I get is one word answer. It's like, okay, yeah, how's your day? Okay, good. And like they don't even reciprocate any question or ask you about you. There's a lack of investment or effort based on where in the dating kind of cycle they are. Maybe they're close to burning out, they're tired, so maybe that's why they're giving these.
So why are they on there then?
They're still somewhat hopeful. And I've come across people who just swipe endlessly. They're just maybe looking for validation. They want to know that, yes, people find them attractive, but really they could have no intention of meeting someone.
What I'm hearing is that in the dating world, 好像很多人其实都很多 baggages because they've been single for however long they are. 所以很多的 healing that needs to happen first. 很多的需要 boost confidence and rebuild the self-image, it sounds like. Then, and I heard another third assumption about single is that the reason why people are single is because they're picky. 很挑所以才 single. Is that true?
I've definitely been accused of being too picky, but I really feel that it's probably the girls I've met that are the ones that are actually too picky. So 碰到的有一些他们的要求就是男生要比他们高，有房有车，赚的比他们多. And that's not really fair. Like, where are all my feminists and egalitarians at?
But you guys, you males are picky too, right? You guys want sexy, hot, young ladies who have potentially a good job, career, but not too overbearing presence. Is that true?
So yeah, I think there's probably a bit of pickiness on both sides. But I think kind of the bigger challenge is kind of balancing kind of what our expectations are with what we've experienced in church. So, I'm a Christian, I grew up in church, and what I value is probably character and morals, our shared culture, our shared faith, spiritual depth, leadership, and it's a disconnect between what I see, what people want. So instead of valuing those things, they value kind of those worldly things.
That is true. I have to say that there is that gap to reconcile, and perhaps I think there's a thing that we can think about is that this world, we are all not perfect. there's always some people who will not meet our standards. So perhaps we need to consider that which kind of problem do we want to settle with? Is it they're not as rich, but they're hardworking? You know, every relationship has its own set of problems, so it's not the perfect world, perfect scenario. And I heard another assumption that we have to our single friends here is that we often ask them, what is the rush? Everyone is delaying their milestone in life, everyone is delaying. Some people are voluntarily choosing single for their life.
At least I feel some pressure. I date with a purpose. I do want to get married, I do want to start my own family. But, you know, I'm taking my time because I want to be prepared for, you know, kind of the future. I want to be able to support my family. So I do want to get my ducks lined up in a row. You know, I would want to be able to provide for my kids that, you know, they wouldn't feel that they're kind of inferior to the teens.
But that's a reason, but is that the reason for other people who are choosing to stay single?
Singles have a lot of other single friends. I would say probably most share my thoughts, but I definitely have heard other people, you know, say they just don't want a relationship. Maybe it's come from, they came from a broken family, so they don't want to risk having a broken family of their own, so they'd rather be content and single. Some people want to, you know, check out the bucket list or focus on their career. Kind of the other big one I've seen is they actually do want a relationship, but they're kind of inflexible. They don't want to change their lifestyle to fit another person into their life. And you know, so I definitely see that. Right, that's why they're single.
You know, a lot of things I actually do agree with you. Marriage is hard, relationship is hard, and this world is broken, it's full of sinful people. And yes, 或许单身真的比较容易 and 单身 may not be a curse, it may be a blessing, but you know, 我觉得说或许上帝 have a different challenges for us. 那我们如果 never take that step of faith to live into it, perhaps 我们就 never experience 其他上帝为我们预备的. I'm not saying every relationship, every dating has to end up in marriage, but perhaps with every set of dating that we've been through, we can get something out of it, and God is in there every time, right? So assumption number 5 that I heard for single is when you know, you know. It's like 你相信一见钟情吗？
我曾经相信过，可能有相信，哎，这个是对的，可以跟他结婚，那没成，所以我现在就不相信了。Yeah, so love at first sight. You know, I kind of think of it maybe if it's not successful, then it's just fatal attraction. So I don't believe it. I don't believe in the one. I believe a relationship takes effort, takes commitment, takes perseverance, and clear communication. So that's actually something I struggle with, and I have asked my friends about. How do you know if someone's the one?
Well, you know, honestly, when I started dating with my husband Lee, I didn't think he was the one, even though I really wanted God to give me an answer. Actually, 我不相信说上帝会在千百万人中 assign and that person is the one, because what are the chances? But I do believe that it takes whatever relationship, it takes commitment and faithfulness to stick it through and to make it work. I mean, under the condition that it's not toxic, it's not violent relationship, if you guys are willing to work it out, I think that person is the one. And moving on then, Winston, I just want to ask then, as a pastor, how can our church support single friends out there?
Yeah, well, number one, thanks for asking that question. I think there's a couple of do's and don'ts, and I'll start with the don'ts first. I think number one, don't think of us as one large demographic. People are in this group for various reasons, as we talked about. Maybe they've been widowed, maybe they've never found that person, maybe they're single by choice. So I think it'd be helpful to talk about, in your sermon examples, to kind of be more distinct about those groups. Another don't is, don't assume we all have free time. So kind of be wary of your ask and asking single people to help out with different church activities. Sometimes it feels like we're being taken advantage of.
Okay, then what are some of the stuff we should do to support singles?
Yeah, I think to support us, you can ask, do you want to be set up? And a lot of times they think they do. They want to meet new people. I think if it's coming from a friend, that gives them kind of more credibility. Secondly, just be friends with them. Ask them to sit with you in service, or ask them to hang out with you outside the church.
Okay, thank you, Winston. So I think our church, you're right, we should not label all singles as one large group, as there are many different reasons why they are in that group. And also, our sermons, our topics can be more sensitive to different life stages. And the most important thing is we should not take advantage of single people, and we should be friends inside and outside of church. And one of the things that friends do is we try to set you guys up if you guys want for it, and we ask you guys to hang out, not just for babysitting, right? So guys, thank you for tuning with us. Next time, our topic is on dating in the digital age. So how do we date as Christians in the digital age? 怎么在网络上交友，身为基督徒？ Tune in with us next time. Thank you, Winston.
Thank you.